What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Like One Half and Duo, and doing a quick mic check. Again, I wish I could play the music, not, but hopefully we could do this and knock this out as quick as I can. It is how long is this guy's video? Let me just check again. 18 minutes. Good God, man. Okay. All right. So now I'll say this. Oh, okay, there you go. I'll say this. Cleaning Prince Gaming. I do watch some of his videos, not subscribe, of course, but I do like some of his videos. He presents it in a way that's very 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 cool, and watch some of it. Sometimes he gets stuff wrong, but again, we are human, so we do certain things in a certain way. So, with that said, we're gonna do his video, and again, this video about he talk about platinum games. The thing about it is he does do research on some of his stuff, and that's the way he presents it pretty good. And I also want to do another video on his that I wanted to do that he came up with, which is if Nintendo left the industry, what would happen? He has some stuff in there that's kind of right and some stuff that's kind of wrong, and I would like to do that maybe in the future. It's not really LBC or nothing, just a little correction or whatever. But in this one right here, yeah, I have a little kind of a little problems with the stuff because he does research to the best of his knowledge. Now, for somebody like me who has insight info a lot of this stuff, that's where a lot of things falls apart in his argument. That's how it's gonna be. I got the Terrell 83, Trinell 83. Anyway, so we're gonna attack, like I said, and for anybody who never watched this channel, and again, first, channel, I would say this. The reason why I'm saying some of this stuff is because one, the reason I've said what this stuff is one, I worked on Mad World. I work on Anarchy Reigns with Platinum Games, right? And the company I own worked with them on those two games. One, two. I know Ayaba. Okay. Let me be honest. I've speaking and talking to Ayaba, Hideki Kamiya, and Shinji Mikami live, in person, right in front of them. I've talked to them, going back and forth, talking about industry and games and everything, and what's going on. So I have physically been in presence of these guys and talked to them. Three, I was in Japan in 2015, and you could check this all on my channel. But in 2015, I was in Japan, and I was also over there when I was talking to I was over there when Star Fox was being developed. So I was talking, and I got hands-on play with Star Fox, of course. So that will be okay. Okay, sorry, just looking at email messages and stuff like that. Anyway, I was there seeing Star Fox. Like, I am one of the few people who got to play Star Fox and see what's going on. And also asked the one question a lot of people was asking about. Oh, are they gonna be multiplayer? And I asked one of the developers there, and she basically proved what I said. Multiplayer is not gonna work the way that people think it's gonna work. It was gonna be boring and repetitive, but. And I was correct, and she proved to be correct, but people didn't want to hear that. So, but that's where my credentials come from. Being that I was in the industry and I talked to these people. Also, when I was over there at Platinum Games, I was over there, and I was over there in Nintendo and Square Enix and Namco Bandai. I was also over there physically talking to people and developers in those companies as well too when I was in Japan. So that's my reference point. So let's go to this video. Hopefully it's 18 minutes. I hope basically be about 25 at most. But let's go and see what happened. I'm using another audio source for this, so it could be quicker. But I think you guys can hear.
Here's something I read recently. Platinum Games is one of the worst development studios in gaming. This sentence has popped up a couple of times on blogs and forums since the news broke that Scalebound, a game that Xbox owners were waiting for with fervor, was being canceled in its entirety. This sentence is also one that could not be further from the truth. Well, actually, maybe that sentence is just as much hyperbole as the first one. In 2017, Platinum Games sits at a weird place within the medium. See, Platinum Games was once held to a higher esteem than almost any other development studio currently working. They were considered one of the best, and when their name was attached to a project, you knew that it was going to be something worth spending your time and money on. Over the past few years, Platinum has also managed to release some of the worst games that the medium has to offer. Games that are so mind-bogglingly poor in quality that many genuinely find it hard to believe that the same studio is responsible for them. Platinum Games is a studio that has become defined by inconsistency, a studio whose work ranges from incredibly stellar to shockingly bad. It's a paradox, an anomaly, it's just downright strange. But today, the question at hand is this: is Platinum inconsistent, or is Platinum in decline? And either way, what is causing these problems? Today we're going to dissect what exactly has happened to Platinum Games, what the studio has become. Today we're going to look through their entire history, at their highest of their highs and the lowest of their very lows, all the way up to and including Scalebound and Bayonetta, so that hopefully by the end of this essay we can come to a conclusion as to what exactly Platinum Games' future looks like. But to get started, let's take a look at where it all began.
Which I have to stop it right there. He didn't even look at how it began, but I'll put a quick synopsis in. Remember, these guys were Ayaba, Shinji Mikami, Hideki Kamiya, and many other people were part of the Capcom team. Capcom was basically going through a little problem where they keep on screwing over their developers and putting games when they're supposed to port and do all kind of crazy stuff, and they just got sick of it and they left. And Platinum Games, former Clover Studio, became Platinum Games. That's what it was. So let's continue.
Tell me about your business. Our business is cookies. Now let me ask you a question. You ever heard of money? Yes. Good, good. We're on the same page.
It's important to start with context before we get into exactly what's led to Platinum's tarnished reputation. Platinum Games is not a studio with a long and storied history. The studio was founded just 10 years ago in 2007 by 3 former leads at Capcom that had worked on games like Beautiful Joe, Okami, and Resident Evil. It wasn't until 2008 that the company revealed anything about their projects, when Sega finally announced that it would be publishing 4 Platinum Games titles. According to studio head Tatsuya Minami, the titles were unique and creative, and it was courageous of Sega to publish these risky releases. Minami also pointed out that the partnership with Sega allowed them to bring these titles to Western markets. The first 3 games were Mad World, Infinite Space, and Bayonetta. Each was released in 2009, and all of the IPs were owned by Sega. And these 3 games were f***ing weird. Mad World will be the first game released, and it was also a massive commercial failure in both Japan and in the West. It was an incredibly violent, brutalistic third-person action game that for some reason found its home on the Nintendo Wii. The game was actually quite good, mechanically sound, and for a studio's first outing showed great vision and potential. But it also sold poorly enough to shift Sega's entire publishing future for that generation. A year later, Sega would announce that they would cease publishing mature video games for the Wii, citing the disappointing sales of Mad World as one of the main contributing factors.
And that part is true. That is true. So I give him for that research. That point, he's right, and that is true. So we keep on going.
Then came Infinite Space, another very good game that undersold greatly. But what's most important about Platinum's first year of releases is what came next. Bayonetta. The game was pitched as an evolution to the Devil May Cry series, to the point where the devs referred to themselves as Team Little Angels in opposition to May Cry's Team Little Devils. The game was a frantic, beautiful, confusing mess of incredible third-person action gameplay. It was the action genre done right. It didn't take itself too seriously and weaponize a woman's hair. It got the one thing games must get right, so right. It was fun, and people loved it. However, according to game director Inaba, the team had set an overly high standard for themselves and became extremely frustrated by the end of the project's development. He added that the game's development nearly broke Platinum Games. In addition, Inaba called the PS3 version of the game the company's biggest failure, as the team did not have sufficient skills or time to develop that version of the game. And even with over 1.3 million copies of the game sold, Platinum studio head Tetsuya Minami, the company was disappointed with its sales, despite it being one of the most commercially successful games produced by the company. This is all extremely important. Despite Bayonetta's critical success, despite 1 million plus in sales, the game was disappointing for Platinum and Sega. And it was hard on Platinum. It was here that we saw an immediate shift from the company, a shift that may have doomed the company and its reputation. Platinum's streak of extremely well-made games would end after their next game, Vanquish, with the release of Anarchy Reigns, or Max Anarchy as it was titled in Japan. The game was another massive commercial failure. It was also a critical failure. It was an action game that tried to straddle the line between appealing to the Western market and appealing to Japanese markets, and it failed at both. And the game signaled the end of the safety net that Sega had provided them with in terms of their publishing deal.
Okay, I'm working on Anarchy Reigns. This is where, again, so far, I'm cool with what he's saying. Nothing really too bad. The thing I will say to him, though, is there was an outcry of PlayStation guys and Xbox guys who were saying, why Madden was such a great game. If you bring that game over to our consoles, we're going to buy it. Okay, that's where Anarchy Reigns came in. And, of course, and that's where I wish sometimes a lot of publishers or developers don't listen to fans. That's what the problem is. What's up, Doc? That's what the problem was. This is one of those things where I think you should have never went over there. But we worked on the game, and people didn't buy it. Even though you had a lot of fans crying, say, we'll buy the game. And that's one of the things I say. I wish a lot of developers and publishers make the game you want to make and push it. That's what the best way it is. And I also keep your mouth quiet, like the way going on in 2017, because they had a bunch of bad PRs. But I digress. They talked about it, they didn't get it. So it was basically a failure on the Xbox. Anarchy Reigns was. So, it is what it is. And it's sad it went that way. But let's continue.
Anarchy Reigns acted as kind of a tryout for Sega, if you will, while they were trying to decide whether or not to renew the contract. They obviously decided against it. Platinum Games have released 5 games, and only one could be objectively considered a commercial success. And then 2 words would change the future of Platinum and begin their decline, or at least their inconsistency: license games. And this is a road that Platinum was forced down due to the failures of 2 releases. These were the next 2 games that Platinum will create in cooperation with Nintendo. These games would ultimately be the causal link between the Platinum that was on top of the world and the Platinum that exists today. The first game Platinum will release in this partnership with Nintendo.
And this is where he's going to get a lot of stuff wrong, and that's why I got to do the response to him for. But let's go.
That they were solely responsible for outside of Sega's umbrella was the Wonderful 101.
Which Nintendo owns the IP.
Experience inspired by old Power Ranger series and was created with accessibility in mind. The game was different. It was a strange combination of Pikmin, Pokemon, and third-person action that was hard to explain, but a joy to play. It was, again, another great game, a near redundancy coming from Platinum at this point. But the game underperformed. Another redundancy in not only Japan, but in the West. It undersold. It cemented the fear of risk. Blame it on the poor sales of the Wii U, blame it on the market, but without Sega's safety net, risk became riskier, and
well, let me finish.
Platinum knew this, so they went back to the well and made.
Okay, so risk become risky, whatever. Here's the thing that he don't understand. Okay, and 101 is owned by Nintendo, that's the IP, but also 101 made its money back because of something which I'll explain later, but it wasn't a failure. It didn't get the success it deserved. I'll give it that. But because of how Nintendo do things, it made its money back, which was not a bad thing. Because if you unlike Anarchy Reigns and Madden and everything, you don't want to spend money and don't make your money back. Kind of like how you don't want to make Phantom Pain, Metal Gear 5, and you sold 6 million. And you still could make your money back in the year that you needed to make your money back. Huh. Okay. Just for context, but let's continue. Let's continue because it gets a little more bumpier from here.
A decision that, despite fan outrage, made sense for a company that was struggling to sell their games. They partnered with Nintendo to create Bayonetta 2 exclusively for the Wii U. This would provide the money necessary to keep them safe should the game undersell, and it would also follow in the steps of the precedent they set, with the first game being their only true commercial hit. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. In fact, near the midway point of development, Platinum had run their funds dry. They couldn't afford to finish the vision they had created for the game, and it was outright canceled. Nintendo themselves had to step in and fund the rest of the project to revive it. Now, Now, there were other mitigating factors, but this was the crux of the issue. In fact, this was a similar reality that Wonderful 101 had run into, albeit amongst different circumstances, also pausing development halfway through. But Bayonetta 2 became just as great, if not greater, than the first title by the time it hit store shelves. It was infinitely replayable. It was one of the best titles you could use for describing how great a game can feel to control. It was praised by critics, getting perfect scores from some outlets. Then it fell on its face commercially. It was so bad that Nintendo refused to release sales numbers, as did Platinum. But what it
No, they released the sales numbers, but because they released the sales number, because when they hit 1 million, they released the sales number, but nobody reported on it. Bayonetta 2 surpassed 1 million within a year, a higher rate than the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. And you know what? Let's keep on going. But yeah, it didn't fall on its face. He has it. That's the way he has it wrong. This was a success for Nintendo and Platinum Games. But I'll keep on going.
is known is that the game sold far worse in its first week in Japan, and its sales did
Kotaku? Really? You gonna listen to Kotaku? Exactly. Oh Lord. This is where your research falls flat, son. Anyway.
One way to look at it is the stranding of these titles on the Wii U became the downfall of these experiences, but the same cannot be said for the sales of Vanquish, Anarchy Reigns.
No, it was not because the Wii U. Bayonetta sold well. If Bayonetta is sold well, why the hell do they have a Bayonetta 3? Oh, why would I put out a game that didn't sell well? I wonder why. Bayonetta 2 sold well. Okay, it sold well enough for Nintendo, and that's what I will say with Wonderful 101. The reason why it sold well, sir, because of Nintendo doing something that other publishers don't do. Budget. They budget the game well. They kept things on the cut and make sure things were working. That's why Bayonetta sold well for the Wii U, even though Wii U wait and at a better rate than the other consoles. That's what happened. That's why Okami sold better on the Wii than any other console for the rate for it and went for the money for because of budget. Because funny thing, Okami HD came out. Have you guys? I want to ask a question. Have you guys heard anything about Okami HD on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4? Because PlayStation, Okami HD on the 360. I'm sorry, not on the 360. On the PlayStation 3, fail. PlayStation 2, fail. Those was not thing. But again, that's the importance of something called budgeting. And that's why Bayonetta was a success. Because again, Nintendo would have never carried the game further if it didn't make money. And it did. But you listen to Kotaku. oh, yeah, okay. The same people who lied and said that Nintendo used to run their game designers as slave trades when they made Metroid, when they only took half of the story and they didn't finish it because if you read the story, if they continued the story, Sakamoto and Kenji Yamamoto said when Gunpei Yokoi told him, "Hey guys, this is not a masterpiece. You could go home. You don't need to kill yourself over this." They said, "No, we just love making this game. This is fun." So they did it themselves, even though their boss told them to go home. So, but Kotaku somehow forgot that part of the story, but try to make Nintendo, they're the bad guys. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's keep on going.
In Mad World. And so what Platinum did was jump into a world that had long since begun dying out, the aforementioned licensed games. And it began creating some of the worst, some of the most mediocre titles you could find in your local GameStop. So what happened? What were these train wrecks waiting in Platinum's future?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
After Bayonetta 2, a quality experience coming from Platinum became objectively rarer than those of far lesser quality. Sure, you could blame the consumer for not recognizing the brilliance of Platinum's earlier releases for what's about to come, but the reality is that Sega poorly marketed 4 out of the 5 games they published with Platinum. They were too scared of the failure of these offbeat titles, and they weren't willing to risk the money. What the gamer was left with then is a Platinum that had to take what was in front of them, that had to survive financially. The first true dip in quality came from their first true license outing.
I'll say one thing as well too before to continue as well too. Sega didn't have to do nothing because Nintendo also with Bayonetta 2. They did a lot of commercials and showed a lot of videos on the YouTubes and other stuff for Bayonetta. But I digress again.
And creating a game for a Nickelodeon animated series. The series itself, The Legend of Korra, is great. The game Platinum made is not. Dan Stapleton of IGN called the game a poorly made tie-in that can't even stand up as a competent third-person action game. And this is surprisingly a good summary of a game that features simplistic combat, a poor story, and was missing all of the gameplay charms that had made Platinum so successful in the past. The game was receiving 2 out of 10s, 3 out of 10s from relatively reputable outlets like GameStop and Polygon. And it was obvious, it was Platinum searching for money. It was a project published by Activision, almost certainly rushed to meet a holiday deadline, and it single-handedly began the tarnishing of Platinum's reputation. This was a game that was supposed to represent everything the studio did well: third-person combat, flashy powers, tight controls, and it all failed. The good and bad news for Platinum is that their next title would at least be average. Transformers Devastation was definitely that. It got by utilizing a smart, nostalgic approach that tugged on 80s heartstrings, but at the end of the day, this game too represented a shift in quality. It scored relatively well, settling around a low 7 in aggregate, but it was a short, shallow brawler that almost seemed more like a tech demo than a game. It fit the licensed game stereotypes to a T. It just happened to be a acceptably good one. However, average, even good, was never what defined Platinum, but their next game would. The third and final game under Activision's umbrella was much more Activision than it was Platinum. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan was a disaster of epic proportions for the once revered studio.
And listen to this carefully.
Notorious for pushing hard deadlines onto their teams and being far more concerned with their bottom line than quality. TMNT was a victim of both Platinum's priorities and Activision's. The game was terrible. It was repetitive. It was boring. The combat was more a nuisance than fun. It was everything that originally killed off licensed experiences. A low-effort, seemingly rushed cash grab. And in between all of this, Platinum had co-developed and co-disappointed millions by aiding and abetting in the purely criminal release of Star Fox Zero, the destruction of a hallowed franchise.
And that's where I have a big objection with him on this one. Criminal release of Star Fox Zero, sir? Pshaw. Really? Really? I'll let you finish because I'm going to dig into this one right here.
That Platinum could add to their resume. A game so bad that it can and will be discussed in its own separate examination. Platinum had now rattled off 3 terrible games and one that was fine in a row, all of which did nothing but bury their reputation under the rubble that was these games' reception. But that...
Okay, so let's get into the Star Fox debacle bull crap that always annoys me about these people. It was not a bad game. Wait, you telling me like Star Wars Battlefront, Mass Effect Andromeda, FIFA, and all these games that's coming out that has glitchy, buggy mess. Those, but people like them and they get great scores. But because you can't play the controller, that's a problem. Because let me explain. Let's go back to the whole story again. Let me see. People remember Nintendo fans, and again, this is Nintendo fans that's doing this bullcrap that I don't like too. Hey, Nintendo, where's Star Fox? Where's F-Zero? Hey, Nintendo, where's Star Fox? Okay, y'all bitch. Yes, we're creating Star Fox for you. Oh, we're going back. I give it to Shigeru Miyamoto that he said because of Star Fox Command. Yeah, the story got a little convoluted, it got a little crazy, so I'm gonna go back and try to restart stuff. I'm cool with that he admit his mistake in that. Good. All right. Here you go. Star Fox 64 kind of a game. You guys wanted Star Fox? Here it is. Star Fox is back. Hey, you guys don't use the gamepad a lot. Oh, you don't use the gamepad a lot. Like I share many videos of people saying that Nintendo don't use the gamepad. It's such a gimmicky thing. Nintendo don't use the gamepad. Okay? Here's the gamepad. It's going to use the gamepad now. Okay. That's what you wanted. All right? Then you always like you need to advertise this very well so it could sell well. Jim Henson, the puppets. They spent a lot of money to make sure that this thing got get out there so people could remember the game and how the game looks good. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, Platinum should make this game. Well, you come to find out Platinum make the game. Yeah. So everything you guys asked for happened. And you sons of bitches didn't buy the freaking game. The motion control is too much. Why do you have to do the motion controls? If my 7-year-old niece, well, at the time, she's 8 now, could play the game without no hiccups and problems. Or technically speaking, I know several younger kids who play the game without no problems. But which is this is a point I'm gonna use later on in another video. But 30-year-old men can't do it. I think you guys are pussies. Grab your balls, man. If little girls could play the game and you can't, y'all got problems. Y'all need to check your manhood at the door. But other than that, he couldn't remember. Polygon couldn't beat the first stage on invincibility mode. If you can't beat the first stage on invincibility mode, I think you are the problem. You are the problem, not the game, because the game was not broken. I can play this game without even looking at the daggone gamepad, and many people have seen it, and I've showed video of it. Talk about it and everything. So yeah, I don't care what these people talking about with that ridiculous. Little girls, but that's sexist. What sexist, whatever. You just came in from Disney, Raphael. Enjoy that one, whatever. This is basically demasculating these pansy ass game journalists and YouTubers who can't play a simple game. Remember, the same journalists who got angry with Cuphead. Anyway, but this is all the stuff you wanted, and the one thing you guys didn't get because you guys said you want online. Star Fox Command had online, and it had the problem what you had. And remember what he just said about licensed games? It was just average and downright super repetitive. Have you played the online on Command, or should I say Star Fox 64 multiplayer? All you're gonna do is somersault, U-turn, somersault to get into it. That's boring. That's repetitive. And that's what the developer, when I was in Japan, that's what she said, and I was like, exactly. I said it in a video before I went to Japan, and she confirmed it, and I said it after I came from Japan. That's what it is. They need to do a game different. They need to start up a different way to make a multiplayer game. Doing what it is, arcading this more right now, would be boring and repetitious. Oh, I know he's being sarcastic, and I'm being sarcastic back to him too, Santiago 316. But that's the crazy stuff right there. Star Fox was a good game, and because of you guys asked for it and you didn't want to buy it, that's what happened. Similar to a game that y'all bitched about, and you got it, and it's you don't buy it didn't sales on charts. Metroid, Return of Samus. But let's keep on going, because again, I'm trying to finish this thing up quick as possibly I can. So let me see how much more we got to go. Oh boy, 8 more minutes. Let's see.
And things would happen that would confuse Platinum's situation even more, while also making a few realities extremely clear. Scalebound and Nier.
Oh boy, let's see how this one works out.
I'm losing it! Bun down, shoot, mustard, pen, bun now! Mr. Krabs, I am so confused.
Platinum Games simply isn't a studio that's capable or prepared for the realities of creating and sustaining new IPs. This alone could have made for a proper thesis. Subscribing to this way of thought, Scalebound would do much to substantiate this opinion. And it's an opinion that is spreading, but may not be entirely true. Scalebound is still a mystery to the gaming community. There is no concrete information, likely due to the mass signings of non-disclosure agreements.
I know the answer.
What exactly happened to the Microsoft exclusive Dragon Imbued action game?
I know what happened.
The game's announcement showed fans that Platinum was still dedicated to creating exciting new IPs. We know it had been in active development since 2013. We know that Microsoft had done much to subsidize the cost of development. And we know that every time the game was shown, it looked to be in rougher and rougher shape. The last time we saw Scalebound, its frame rate was terrible, its gameplay looked nothing like what you might expect from the studio, and a word most ubiquitously used to describe the game was clunky. 4 years into development, 2 years of hype, and Scalebound was canceled. Not put on hold, not paused, canceled. It was official. Platinum's name was no longer sacred. The name no longer carried with it implications of greatness. The name was soiled. This was Platinum's most recent attempt at a new IP, an attempt that failed miserably, an attempt that helped cement the line of reasoning that Platinum was not a studio cut out for the creation of their own wholly unique experiences. They were not cut out to handle their own IPs. Not necessarily critically, but commercially. The decline of Platinum looked like a true decline, but then Nier Automata happened. By this time, Platinum's president and CEO...
You know what? I'll stop right there and Scalebound. I played Scalebound when I was over in Japan as well, to that same time frame. Pretty good game, pretty awesome. It was looking right. Here was the problem, just like you said about Activision. They did the stupid shit and trying to micromanage, and they took the team that was helping to work on them to work on Halo Wars 2. And then once they did that, they tried to rush Platinum Games to make the game out, and that was kind of messed up. And Hideki was like, basically, let me put it in his words, fuck it. That's basically what it was. You ain't gonna take away my team, then give me a team, then take away the team, and then want me to rush the game out for a certain thing. Yeah, you gave me money, but dude, I'm not gonna give away my blood. What? And also, you're taking an idea that I had. You see, the difference between Wonderful 101 and Bayonetta 2 is Nintendo let Platinum do what they want to do, just like with Bayonetta 3. Nintendo's like, hey, you want to do it? Have fun at it. Go ahead. They send certain people out there to make sure they understand the Wii U hardware, as you could go and watch when Hideki was talking to Iwata in his Iwata Acts, and to make sure that the game run basically flawless. Again, no game is perfect, but you know what I'm saying. So Scalebound was different. The Microsoft Studios was micromanaging too friggin' much, and then again pulling away team, and that was infuriating. And I could see why Hideki said what he said. So that's what happened. Let's continue. Oh, come on. All right, now you want to be a jabroni. Jeez. Okay.
Stepped down, and there were reports of the company being on the brink of devastation. Platinum Games co-founder Hideki Kamiya confirmed this after Nier's release, saying that Yoko Taro and Nier Automata saved Platinum Games. Automata was great. It was a spectacular display of storytelling, atmosphere, setting, and sound design. But most importantly, it was a blast to play, with frenetic combat, incredible replayability, and precise bouts of gameplay shifts that made every moment feel unique. And this was thanks in good part to Platinum partnering with Square Enix on the project to work on the combat and gameplay side of Automata. What Platinum helped do was create one of the best games of 2017 and one of the greatest combat systems gaming had seen in years. Nier Automata was a diamond in the rough, a game that finally captured mainstream attention, sold well, and gave Platinum back an ounce of their credibility. But it also raised a question. At this point in time, after years of poor releases, poor sales, was Platinum better as a support studio than a game creator? After all, their only true commercial and critical success on their own came from the Bayonetta series. So what about Bayonetta? What about Platinum's future?
Let's see where this will go.
When I sneeze, I see the future. Wait a second, I feel one coming on. There's a fire at the Peterman warehouse.
This just in. There's a fire at the Peterman warehouse.
At the 2017 Game Awards, Platinum Games announced that they would not only be bringing Bayonetta 1 and 2 to the Nintendo Switch, but that Bayonetta 3 would also be coming as well. This is Platinum Games' chance. This is their chance to prove that they still have what it takes to create a project from the ground up and see their own vision through from beginning to end. Platinum has spent years catering to the will of publishers, allowing Sega to bury their phenomenal early releases behind timid marketing and poor publishing decisions, striking deals with Activision that forced them down roads of licensed games that they almost certainly had less control over than their own products and IPs, and in turn churned out some of the worst gaming has to offer. They struck deals with Nintendo that stranded Bayonetta 2 and Wonderful 101 on a system with an incredibly small install base, and then partnered with...
Yeah, I know you said that. Yeah, and it made money, and they also was successful, and the people who published it made money off of it too. Because they wouldn't be a Bayonetta 3 if it was a failure, you know. But oh well. I hope there's a Wonderful 101 too. I really do.
Nintendo on the train wreck that was Star Fox. Now they
Star
have
Fox
to
wasn't a
succeed.
train wreck,
They
you
have to
prick.
provide results. There are no more excuses. There is no way around this next reality. If Bayonetta 3 is anything less than spectacular, if it does not sell well, that is solely on the shoulders of Platinum Games. The Switch is selling at a rapid rate. Its install base beginning to trend well beyond the Wii U. The series has a fan base, a recognizable name, and it's an IP they are beyond familiar with. Bayonetta must succeed, and honestly, as long as they provide more of the foundation they've already created, it's hard to imagine the game won't. We also know that Platinum is developing a new IP. That is quite literally all the information available on that front, but it is nice to know that Scalebound and their commercial failures on the Wii U have been at least somewhat offset by the confidence Nier Automata provided the studio. But the truth is, Platinum's future is unclear because Platinum has become a studio that's impossible to define. Is Platinum Games on the decline, or are they the most inconsistent suite of developers currently working within the medium? It's both. The studio has stretched themselves far too thin over the past few years, and it's impossible to argue that Platinum has not seen a steep decline over those few years. It's also impossible to ignore the greatness of Nier Automata and Bayonetta 2. Platinum is an enigma, an undefinable, confusing mess of greatness and poor decisions, of stellar new IPs and throwaway licensed titles, of terrible partnerships and phenomenal teamwork. It just doesn't make sense. Money is what keeps any business operating. Platinum's best pursuits on almost every occasion brought in the least of those all-important dollars, and thus began this trend of stretching themselves across 3, 4, 5 projects that aided in their demise. The studio just might be a victim of circumstance, but it doesn't excuse their poor releases. It just helps explain them. Platinum is also a victim of another issue, which is blind faith and blind consumerism. They have a litany of fans that could care less how good or bad their products are. They will buy them and defend them till the end. This type of behavior does more to hurt the studio and encourage some of their bad habits, and even tarnish their name, than it does to help it. This studio is very much capable of creating some of the best work being released today. They are certainly talented enough to provide products of incredible quality, but their success, their talent, has become situational at best. Is this all to say that their next releases will be poor? Absolutely not. What it does say, however, is that Platinum needs to earn back the reputation that some still hold them to, and they need to do it now. I personally have great faith in what Bayonetta 3 can become. Let's just hope we get the Platinum that existed when ideas were all they had, and not the Platinum that let their brightest ideas be squandered. Well, guys, that was it for today's doc, and as always, a start of a dialogue. What do you think of Platinum Games? What do you think of Bayonetta? What do you think their best game was, their most underrated game? And what do you think their worst game was? And what are your fears for Bayonetta 3? What are your fears for Platinum's future?
Don't fear.
Let me know the answer to any of those questions down in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you are not yet a member of this team, press.
Okay, and there you go. Now, that's what the ending of his videos always. Let's have this discussion and everything. I like the way he always phrased that, even though some of the things is weird in his way. So let's have a discussion on this channel. My discussion is my video towards you, my good sir. So let's do this quickly and call it a night. Shut up. Let me see. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Miyamoto was interested in making more Star Fox games. Thank God, more Star Fox games. He's interested. Let's see what happens. I have not seen that he was. He's also was pointing to the sales too, Raphael. So let's not jump the gun on that one. I have nothing to back up that to be something to say anything. So I'll leave that alone. So if Microsoft called Platinum Games up, the answer, or phone, just let the phone ring. Mostly let the phone ring. They don't want to mess with them again, mailmate. So a game is only worth putting on a system in this guy's eyes if selling gangbusters. It can be on one system that diverse library and taking advantage of the system. Gotcha. You don't gotta be like that, Trail already. Trail. But okay, so here's the thing that I gotta say to you, sir, with Cleaning Prince Gaming, when you talk about that stuff. I have no fears with Bayonetta 3. Not at all. Why? Because they tend to let Platinum do what they gotta do. They don't micromanage like Microsoft or Activision. Now, Platinum does have some games that just have some have some have some bad games. You brought them up with the Korra and everything else. So I give you that in TNT. I don't think it was a bad game. I just think it was average, and I give you that. I give you that for sure. Star Fox was not a bad game. I don't know where you just follow what everybody else has said. It was not a bad game. It was a good game. You could play it. You could play it. It was not, you weren't turning and it was glitching. It was no bugs. It was no your screen tearing and none of that stuff. Like, oh, let me see Bethesda's game, Fallout and Skyrim, and wait, and those games still get sells gangbusters for some weird ass reason. Melvin said, okay, Melvin said, I have not played a bad platinum game yet so far. I'll be honest with you, I have not played a bad platinum game either, but there are games because the way I pick my games, I am between that. I can't say I have not played every platinum game. From God Hand to, of course, Matter World was on it, Anarchy Reigns, of course, Vanquish, very fun game. Bayonetta 1, 2, of course. Star Fox. I have no problem with Star Fox. I don't know. Again, very good game. That's a discussion. But they have some games that whatever. And I give him at the end what he said, which is true. Stuff. The fan base is, they do let their fan base control a little too much. This again because those are the same fans who said, "Oh, why don't you bring Mad World towards, Xbox and PlayStation, Anarchy Reigns?" And y'all talk a big talk, y'all don't buy it. Oh, say it to Star Fox. You got Star Fox. Talk a big talk, y'all don't buy it. Metroid, talk a big talk, y'all don't buy it. So, my thing is, make the games, have fun with it. Do not listen to the thing, and let Nintendo hit you. Make sure that do what Nintendo does. Keep you on the budget, so you can make money. So these assholes who don't buy the game don't end your company up. Do I have a fear that Platinum is gonna go away? Not really. I don't. I've been in there. I've been in their stores. I talk to people. I don't have that fear of it. If I was to say one thing that needs to, that I ain't gonna say needs to happen, that I hope can happen. Now that you're riding high and mighty and you can buy it without professional loss or anything, Nintendo, this will be a good time to scoop up platinum games and put them underneath your wing. That's what you need to do. Scoop them up, put them under your wing. And Nintendo, that's what I would say. I understand why you didn't do it at the time when they were asking to do it. Respectfully for that, but this is the time to pick up and have a development team that could do action-based and quick games, and you could put quick Twitch-based kind of games and have them in your pocket, because you're gonna need more team members to help develop more games faster to keep the Switch going. Because again, in 2018, the Nintendo Switch is gonna be selling by games now. It's not gonna be selling by the hype of what the system is. It's gonna be about the games. So that's what you need to do as a company, Nintendo, from my perspective of looking at talking to you guys. Let me see. Well, I haven't played it. Let me see. Santiago 316. Only platinum game that I have played that was mediocre was the Turtles game. Understandable. That's why you said I haven't played the one yet. It's just okay, Melman. Okay, so that's what it's all about. That's what it is. I have another video that I'm not gonna do it in this kind of setting. I'm gonna do it in a real mic check. And basically, this video, as Raphael saw, yes, this video I have, because it's gonna be stopping every couple of seconds because he says so much stuff that's wrong. That yes, and that'll be Nintendo Prime and talking about his stuff about Nintendo fans. Yes. And that's gonna be my mic check of 2017, because it basically encompasses 2017. That's why I'm gonna do that. And also I want to do a refresher to Yao, because I did do a video about the thing about Bethesda, and I need to correct that situation. I was technically not wrong, but I will correct what I said. And basically, and the things that I've said wrong this year, unlike other people, I will correct myself, and I'll do a podcast that we'll call a refresher, and correct my mistakes basically my claims or what I said on this year. Because I don't have this big ego like most other people that, I was wrong. Okay, then you proved me wrong. Good. Okay, you know what? I was wrong. This and this and this. And the one with the Bethesda thing is, Bethesda bought back the publishing of that game after everything was looking good and great in the week when it got released. That's what happened, really. Nintendo did publish the game, and Nintendo Bethesda buy back the publishing rights back from Nintendo in that week. But that's for another video, another podcast having up. There you go, mic check. Sorry, again, I like most of his videos. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes he gets a little whatever, and he uses the whole essay thing as his cover-up. But, hey, still has some good videos on there, and I could get down with. I would like to do a video with the whole, like I said, if Nintendo leaves the thing, because he had some stuff that was kind of a little wrong, but a lot of stuff that he said right in that video. So that'll be a future project. With that said, you guys enjoy your night. Remember, there's no perfect games out there. It's perfect use, not perfect to me. It's perfect to me, not perfect to you. Simply enjoy your games on all consoles, even on PC. Enjoy it. Have fun. Good night. Peace out. And thank everybody from Terrell, Raphael, Melman, Tony Kanan, Jack Gates, Dr. Feelgood. Thank y'all for joining in. And again, hope you guys enjoy whatever games you have for this thing. This is the Christmas week itself, so enjoy your games and play it from all systems, not only Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. This is if you're in school, this is the time where you're gonna be off from school. Enjoy some games, chill with the family. If you work, hey, the holidays coming up. Because for me, working like crazy, yeah, the holidays. I have me 4-day weekend this Christmas and 4-day weekend for New Year's Eve. Oh, I'm gonna be playing some games, and I just finished. Like I said, I just finished the Champions Ballad. I got the Phantom suit with Ganon and everything, pretty good. And of course, the Zero bike, as you can see on Google Plus. I got the Zero Master Zero Cycle, and I have to say the game was the Champion Ballad is thing. And if I can be honest, that plus the trials and everything combined now, if you combine everything, it's worth the $20. It really is. I would say if you want to extend it and all the story and keep knowing the background of all the things, pretty cool. So go ahead and I would say for $19, $19.99, $20, it's worth it. It is. If you want to do that, go ahead. If you don't have to, but it's your money. But I would say it's worth the purchase. Also, with that again, I said have a good night. Catch y'all later. Peace out.